Those of you who are catching this on the replay, because the live won't be hearing me yet, I'm going to play a couple of short pieces, about a minute apiece. One from William, one from Keleena. This is our intro. This allow people time to come in, so enjoy this.
Hello loves, this is Keleena. I'm coming in with some quick light language for you because I'm getting a lot of messages from those of you that are having a lot of, I want to say, energy come up within you. You're having a lot of pain, you're feeling emotions and stuff. So I want you to bring those emotions up into your heart, the thoughts that are coming with it, bring it up into your heart to transform it and transmute it, okay? And ground it out of you. You don't have to feel the pain, okay? Allow it to come up, acknowledge it, recognize it. You don't have to know where it's coming from, okay? Feel it, allow yourself to feel it. Take it into the heart, dissolve it in love, and let it go. I love you.
What's happening, everybody? We got Keleena and Guillermo in the house. Guillermo is Spanish for William. And it's a powerful day. It is a powerful day. I was feeling it last night, and I got up this morning. I said, do a remix. I got on, and we blew it up. It was the I don't know, man. There was just people were just coming in, and everybody was feeling the groove and the commentary on the different clips I played. And then we got knocked off, which has never happened on all the platforms at 38 minutes. So I don't know what that was about. It might have just been an aberration. It really doesn't matter. It was just time for me to leave the broadcast. But so we got William and Keleena here in the house. They're in Sedona, and they're living there now. William just made another voyage back from the other side of the pond. And I just want to point out both of these people. Let me put on my good glasses. They made me look younger. Both of these beautiful souls have dedicated their life to, as many of the people, most if not all the people that have come on the show, have dedicated their life, what remains of this incarnation and beyond, to expanding from the inside to influence most directly and at the highest potential the external collective experience that we all share. So they work alone and they work together. And they also have a beautiful love story. And I've met them, and they're just as you see them on the screen. So welcome to the show from your beautiful portal. And thank you for coming in and sharing space with us and honoring us with your presence.
Thank you for having us back, Todd.
Thank you, Todd.
You're very welcome. It's a you know that I went to grab a video off of your page, and just so everybody knows, I'm putting together massive archives like nowhere else in the world of pure expressions, whether it's people talking on a spirit walk or doing a light language or doing a ceremony type of ritual like William's doing in the intro. So I'm going to people's pages and I'm downloading videos. It's a free universe, and we are the free energy of the universe. And so I believe that everything is everybody's, and I'm just trying to promote that. So I don't want anyone to, get upset if they see themselves on the remix. I guess if you do, let me know. But the reason I brought that up is because I went to Kelena's, and what I played in the intro was from November. And in that intro, or in that video, she was saying a lot of people have been talking about the energy. I think we've been talking about this all of 2020. Now we're into 2021. And it's like we got to the end of 2020, and then somebody put a starting pistol in the air and pulled the trigger and said, go. Like we didn't even have time to get through from resting from the marathon of 2020, and then somebody said, now you got a 100-yard dash. You've got a sprint. And so it's moving very fast. And I know you guys have been moving fast, and you guys have been working within the the machinations of the, let's just call it the false matrix, in getting to and from William from Europe, which isn't such an easy thing today to travel around the world. But we're going to change that because there won't be any borders by the time we get done with this. But how has it been going for you guys? Have you guys been feeling the energy? Have you had any ups and downs? Has William been sleeping on the couch or anything like that? But what's been happening?
You have two rooms.
No, he's well. Energy is so expansive at night that we can't be in the same. Come for a little bit, then he has to go, just because I'm vibrating so high with the frequency so high. Like you're vibrating too much, so he goes into the other room to sleep. But that's been happening for quite a while.
And also sometimes when I woke up earlier, then I just leave the bed so that Keleena can rest longer, because I'm in my thoughts then. Or I'll go up in the morning and we'll go to see the sunrise. Talk about the keys invocations. I just shared a beautiful prayer also on Facebook, the I Am prayer.
I saw that.
Dedicated. And it's the same way as you just showed to Shiva. It's also a prayer to the Father. And yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that. That was really good. I'm going to download that and put it in the remix. Yeah. Excuse me, but I'm gonna download that and put it in the remix.
Perfect. As far as energies, we've been really pulled into being in peace and just being calm, and like I am like, William, you're around people. I just need to
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's just that energy of just staying in that peace and calm, because we're holding that high tension for what's going on in the outside world right now. So that's what the light workers are. That's part of that work that we're here to do. The space right now, and I've been like just sitting either outside, for just meditating. He's doing his thing, or we're out on the earth doing our grid work or whatever. But we only had something back in December.
Yeah, and at the moment, and we are now beautiful. We are anchored divine masculine energy yesterday together with brother Nico, and on the bell. It was an amazing experience, and the new divine masculine energy was activated. Yeah. So we have also Simon from Bashar. He's like positioned on the bell. I really would like to show you that place when you're in Sedona, Todd, to go there and to see the sunrise. It's amazing.
Well, it's a funny story. In 2018, after Morgan and I had a divine union ceremony, she had to go back to Australia. I was broke, traveling around the country, trying to figure out how am I going to get her back over here. Then I got called to Sedona, and I didn't have any money, like I ever did. So I got enough for a plane ticket. I got enough for a shuttle, and I took the shuttle into VOC. And I literally got off the bus and I turned on the camera and I said, "Hey, I'm in Sedona, and I've been called here to do some collaborations or whatever." And I basically was saying, "Can anybody help me?" And so this beautiful lady messaged me, and she was about a 4-minute walk from the bus stop at the hotel in VOC. So I walked over to her house. She said, "You're welcome to stay here." I said, "Great." And she didn't have internet. And about an hour later, 3 ladies hit me up. They had rented an Airbnb in West Sedona, and they said, "Hey, we've got an extra room and we got great internet. You want to come over here?" I said, "Yes." So I went outside, I got my stuff. They pulled up in the car. I'd never met these people before. The sister was driving and she pulled out onto the main road, in VOC headed, north to Sedona. And before we even got like, I don't know, like, maybe like 500 feet headed north on that highway, she said, "Oh my God, we've got to go somewhere. I'm feeling it." And I'm like, "Where?" She says, "Bell Rock," because Bell Rock was the next exit. So we pull off in Bell Rock. Now it's about, I don't know, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. It's pitch dark. And so I said, "Okay, well, this is what I do." So I turned on the camera and I was really going to film like her or whatever she was going to do or whatever. But by the time I walked up to the rock and I'm filming it, I started I think for the first time ever on video, I started doing this ancient song. This ancient voice just came out. And to your point, it was pure masculine. It felt purely masculine. So I've heard people talk about Bell Rock mostly being masculine, but I've heard some of people say it was feminine. But for me, it was a huge masculine experience. And I look forward to going out there with you when I'm over there.
Well, the goddess is within God, when the goddess speaks to the masculine, probably that's a beautiful expression as a masculine energy. So yeah, maybe the goddess has spoken through you as masculine.
Right on, right on. So I really like what you said, Keleena. I saw, given all the histrionics of the last 11 days, as we've been in 2021, all the stuff going on the global stage, I'm quite amazed by the continued polarization, and I'm not criticizing or judging anybody. I'm just making a comment. In the lightworker communities, the Starseed communities, but I really like your message. I think this is the message that will prevail. I saw Pamela Johnson, our beautiful sister down in Mexico, put up something a few days ago, and she said the same thing. She didn't mention anything going on. She just said, "Hey, way showers, lightworkers, starseeds, it's time to fortify your field. It's time to hold your position." This is just my words, paraphrasing what she said. And she said, this is the time to shine. This is the time to be calm. This is the time to remember why we're here, who you are, what you are, what you're a part of. And then I saw our beautiful sister in Sedona, Sandra Walter, pretty much put up the same thing a couple of days ago. I think this is the energy that will prevail. It is anchored in truth, and it is anchored in the example, not the words so much, but the example that we set by maintaining the frequency of our own energetic field. So I want to thank you for your words, and I want to thank Pamela and Sandra and everybody else who's moving that frequency forward and expanding it into the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. When the higher self writes, it's really, really powerful, and that message for us to all together in unity as light workers and do what we're here to do for so long, to hold that space, is really, really important right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you heart and stay in here where your truth is, where the peace is, where the love is, to hold this I'm actually information right now, to hold the ignition space and the power for what is coming.
Right.
So
right on.
We're igniting a flame, they're saying. We're igniting another flame. Another flame that does not correlate with the distortion that has happening or in existence upon this planet. We are igniting the flame of love truth that is connected to the one, in alignment for self, with our Christ self, with the beings that we are. No more, saying no more of this. It needs to be this. No more of bonking heads with light workers, other groups, other shows. We have that to come through. And kind of right now. This is the divine purpose.
Right on.
Well, we are coming together. It's the frequency of the new earth, and the new earth frequency is you cannot hold it anymore. So when things are collapsing, even between the light workers, it's very important for yourself and your own ascension to forgive, to let go of the energy. Because when the vibration is going higher and higher, the station is going to be quick. So what you just said before, Todd, you say that before police officers is taking somebody in, everything can be against you.
Oh.
And call law. Yeah. You say that's all what God does as a reflection and manifestation. So it comes back to you.
That's right.
In the manifestation. That will be quicker, also especially for the light workers. They are of a high vibration. They will manifest quicker, and also they will be reflected quicker. And so it's very important for them, for everybody in essence, to be in alignment and to see, to take for everybody's own thoughts and manifestations. Because if you are even in the fourth dimension and you're still saying something negative, it's your own vibration that you put out, and that will come back.
Yeah. Yes. I think we should change that phrase from anything you say can and will be used for you. Not against you, but for you. But you make a really good point. And it's really, against the backdrop of this week, which we have so many people, starting with y'all, coming on this week. It's too many to list, but, Sandra Walter, David Icke, Marie Batchelor, such a mix of people throughout the week, which I know energetically serves as some type of representation of what's happening. But I look at that and I say, what is it that we're not talking about? What is it that we are continuing to put on the back burner? And if we go down the news feed and we look at the number of people who don't necessarily get in front of a camera, because that's not the end-all cure-all, but the number of posts that I see on my news feed that's about the human spirit, about the I am soul, that's about taking self-responsibility, being self-reliant, and being a conscious co-creator, and not buying into the BS and not buying into the narratives and those distortions that are becoming distractions, but continuing on with the actions, the words and the thoughts in alignment with the guidance that we've been getting all this time that got us to this point. I mean, if we think about all the stuff we've done as a result of the guidance that we listened to and defied society, defied family, defied conventional wisdom, and we've gotten this far, there's no time more important, in my opinion, to listen to that guidance and be bold in our actions, our thoughts, and our words in an effort to continue building that frequency, because I think we've underestimated. And I'm so happy that you guys are reunited again in Sedona. And I know that there's a lot of powerful transformational energy going on over there. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, there is.
Also for the both of us. And yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, we hear what you're saying. And the source to acknowledge who you are and to be who you are and your own awareness comes from within, and that connects your own alignment with your God self, where the truth actually is. The consciousness before the planet, consciousness before humanity's.
Also great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's like all this instruction, all the stuff that served us, all these years getting us up to this point. So many people have talked about in the last couple of months, since December for sure, that everything's kind of changed. It's like I've heard people saying, I'm getting this information, but it's like, why put it out? Not in a defeatist way, but in a statement of saying, because it's already out there, or I got this information, then I went to go share it with my brothers and sisters, and 2 or 3 other people downloaded the same thing and put it up. So it's like the collective consciousness, like the beehive mind of this frequency, let's just call it New Earth frequency, is becoming something very available, and it is being utilized by more and more people. So we cannot underestimate the power of one unique and equal soul, especially our own.
Absolutely. The more that we are connected to our own divine I am presence, we are connected to that earth that we are creating by utilizing our presence. If that's, this is coming through.
Exactly.
It's and in that higher awareness, in I am presence, the distortion cannot come with us. It just doesn't. It doesn't exist. It's a whole different reality. Even perspectives will be a part of it. Maybe William can answer that, but I see it as, and what I feel is, when you're in that divine I am presence, everything coming in is direct from the one soul, that creator, and we're all bringing through, download that same information. But what I want to say is, it really is important for every single person to share it, because they may be reaching other persons that somebody else is not. And in order to help awaken people even more, or at a deeper level, when we share these things, there's key codes in all of the things that we're out there, and they act through that DNA at the cellular level, something to awaken something. They're going to awaken everybody differently. So if those people that are getting that information and you're not putting out, so and so has already done it, it doesn't matter. You got it for a reason. Put it out there for purpose. It's part of the process to help the collective on the planet that are still being the hurted ones, I'm going to say. I almost said something.
It's also not that there's something wrong to it when you post it or not posting it, because everything is always in divine timing. We cannot judge in that way the manifestations that are happening in this moment, in this reality. Only the consciousness that oversees everything, doing everything else. So yeah, it opens your heart when you want to express it, and your vibration with the word into the field is always unique, and it will always, and maybe another text with the same words will not match the same vibration. So you cannot judge it in that way. So everything, always feel what's coming in, express it. And the main thing that you can do on this planet, and that's why also people in high vibration choose to be celibate, is just to be present on Earth in your highest vibration of love and light. You have a message to a source: be that what serves souls the most, and that is being love. So when you are like a shining star on the planet as a light being, shining your light, that's the best thing what you can do in your highest vibration. Because your subconsciousness, for 95%, creates your reality, and not your mental thoughts in that way. So purifying your subconsciousness is always the highest service in you on the planet.
Yeah.
And that
and I think
message
go ahead. That
message came from a tree yesterday that I connected to.
Yeah, I'm into the trees.
Yeah.
The trees, and when I connected last night, it was pretty wild. When we connected, we didn't say a whole lot after the first couple of minutes, but I went to a place that I've never been before, and I'm not talking about a location. I'm talking about a dimension, and it was almost freaky. And the reason I brought it up is because the trees are always my most foundational point outside myself, my relationship with Morgan, and so on. But they've been with me since I reawoke 9.5 years ago. So last night, I just went through, I don't want to say a veil, but I went through several veils, boom. And I'm in this space, which was similar to the void that I've experienced before, except for it had movement and it had light beings. And I was pretty much told, and I already knew it, you've broke through. You've not been in this space before. And I got a little freaked out. So I called on the trees. And I said, "Are you here?" And then I saw like three or four big ones appear, and I'm like, "We're here with you," you know. But yeah, the trees are, and I think that I find it a somewhat, in a nice way, not in a bad way. I find it a little humorous that we've all come this far. We've had these intergalactic, interdimensional, dimensional connections, divine essences, angelic, galactic, cosmic, and now we're back to this space as we head into 2021 where much of this stuff is embodied within us, and that part of infinite intelligence that is is most available and most familiar is standing right before our eyes. It's the trees, it's the rocks, it's the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the elementals. And I really feel like that our connection and relationship with the elemental and plant and animal kingdoms is going to be huge this year. I really feel it is.
I agree. There's a lot of us that have been doing a lot of work for the last 3 or 4 years, I want to say, really connecting with them and speaking with them, singing light language, singing to the rocks, singing to the water, being in the water, connecting with the sun and singing the sun and the air and everything. And really transforming the stuff out there and the disconnect, because we were so disconnected from Mother and all that she has provided on the planet for us. We had to break these barriers and bring down these walls between them. The elementals, the animals, and everything were so afraid of us for so long. Now you're going to see so much more of the animals coming to you naturally would have run you in the past. Telepathically speaking with the trees and the water, very easy for myself right now. I've been doing it for a while, but I know it's so easy for a lot of other people too. And getting the messages. But this is also the new earth, but it's also the dissolving of the veil between the worlds, if that makes sense.
Yes.
They're showing me while speaking. And one of the things that I love to do, and we know is I go to the tree, I can literally arms coming out of tree and they will pull me in. Literally, I'll go flying into the tree until my heart is touching the tree. And my third eye, I will just see images and receive messages and just feel this enormous love.
Yeah.
It's a non-ending, it's an eternal coming.
Beautiful love that Keleena then gives to the tree gives back multiple.
Yeah, it's an exchange.
Yeah.
And it's going to be bigger. The other thing I want to say is, for me, and what I know is that, and I know a lot of people know this, is that Earth, Mother, and everything that she and everything that grows upon her is the one truth here besides love. And everything else is a creation by humans, by the mortals. But
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Yeah, you bring up a good point too, whether it's the trees or the galactics or any other of our related aspects, however that relationship is actually built. I don't know. That's beyond my comprehension. But so we did an incredible show last week with Eric Stephen Rankin, Jin Reynolds' partner, and Eric's the one that downloaded Sonic Geometry. Yeah, Sonic Geometry. He's been on Ancient Aliens and Gaia. He's very unassuming man, very down to earth. Anyway, he has had a relationship with Ashtar. And so he said, look, why don't we, I don't call it channeling, why don't we role play a little bit? And I will pull in that, information, which he did. It was a great show. And a lot of really good information. But the reason I bring it up is because of what you said about the trees. So in this conversation with Ashtar, he made it very clear how important and how much reverence the universal family had for the human hybrid souls on this earth. And he went on to say that although we have been giving you information and, you know, knowledge and wisdom, and that is very true, we are actually gaining the same thing from you. And he went on to say that there is no way that any of those aspects could learn but through our experience. And I thought, wow. And I've understood that, but I felt that in a way I've never felt before, like now more than ever. Like they're paying homage to us. And as we come out of these old programs of feeling small and insignificant, I think that's another thing that's starting to change too. Is the and you know, as indicated by his comments, is that we are actually have gotten to the point where we're starting to really understand just what we are, and that's huge to me. That's just huge.
Yeah, funny that you said Ashtray because we just had a connection with him last night.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I mean,
Well, it's some work we have to do, but we don't need
Yeah.
to.
That's okay. Yeah, whatever you.
I was with Ashtar. Ashtar came forth, and he said that I made it.
He said you made it.
Yeah, and I still don't know exactly what it is. You know, my
And Keleena said it's about time. That's what.
yeah. Still what's to do.
No, below.
You know?
Below.
Have you guys?
We-
Go ahead. I'm sorry. There was a lag. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You know, we're just there's some stuff that we have to do, or it's part of our work that was revealed. So,
Right.
but there was a lot of beings there, was even a sitting in a chair. So we're.
Well,
Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me. I've had, and that's what I was going to ask you. I don't know. So, like, I don't know. You know, ever since 12/12, everything's moved so fast. But certainly, again, after 12/21, 21/12. So, I know Morgan and I have shared this, you know, together and separate. We talked to a friend last night who had a similar type of experience over these last, you know, 2-3 weeks, whatever. And that has been, and in fact, it was really big last night when I went to bed. That has been this presence of a really strong presence with thinner and thinner veils in between of a blue light being family, right? And so so my question is, oh my God, we hit pay dirt. So my question is, first of all, my question is going to be, have you, and you've already answered it, have you experienced anything like that, whether it be blue light beings or not? And two, if you have, which I already know you have, are you getting, are you coming to the understanding or experiencing uh, a connection with more physicality either already or that you feel is coming? Because that's what I'm getting. Go ahead.
More physicality. What was the last part? You couldn't hear you.
Well, like, in other words, is it? Go ahead.
Physicality spirit, you know, they appear like more physical in our appearance because we are raising our vibration to the higher dimension. Well, yeah, in a way, but still, we had a beautiful experience when I was on Balrock again and the sunrise came. There was a beautiful blue being in the ray from the sun that appeared.
Let's see if I
So
can.
it's the second time now that you're bringing something up that we have experienced that. So that's in synchronicity and also in the reflective manifestation.
That's right.
Try to see if you guys can see the blue being on the bottom. It might not work because of the sun.
Oh, I can see a little bit of it. Yeah, I can see a little bit of it. Yeah, it's kind of hard because there's a glare, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that blue bean, the blue beans. Oh yeah, actually,
Blue Angel.
I just saw a face. Did you say avians, blue avians? Don't tell me you just said that because that's exactly what I was thinking last night.
Yeah,
So we'll share experience I had the other day. I was in received a vision, and believe it, I actually traveled over to Shasta, and there were beings that were coming out of Shasta. Believe it or not, Sandra was with me. So, and she will be on this week with you. And we were talking to these beings, and they literally pulled out this light blue crystal, and it was a seal. And inside the crystal, it had rainbow rays that were like just bouncing on the inside. They were also like all over on the outside, and they showed it to us, and they said, they were talking about their work. They said, our work in Telos is not complete yet. That's what they said. And they were showing Sandra this crystal, and they said, this is the crystal that we need to use. So I had shared that with her, and she said, oh my God, you're the third goddess this week that has had the same information brought to her from these earth beings. These blue beings that are coming out and talking, whether it's astral meditation, or we're seeing it's all coming together. So it's just a big, it's a collaborative effort. I just heard of all of us uniting.
Yeah.
The blue beings are actually us. They're part of us.
They're what? They're part of us. Yeah. Yeah,
also,
definitely. Yeah.
There will be revealing also towards ourselves, right, who we truly are in higher dimensional reality, and that reality, those three are merging. So you can see who we truly are, and they are looking forward how we will respond to that when we're going to realize and see how we really look.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that. I've been getting that, and I got that again last night. And just a couple other points. We just bring these up because, like Keleena was saying earlier about sharing stuff, you know, it's not it's not so much to me in the instruction as it is in getting people to think. And I don't, that's probably not the right way to say it, but there's something about when people share something and it opens up something in a brother or sister, opens up more possibilities, more openness in terms of what is and what isn't. And that's what I think one of the great things about sharing, especially as we do on the show with so many people's experiences. But one of the things that I had also got over the last few weeks from these blue beings is something very similar to what you said about this crystal. The ones that I've seen have been golden white, and they've basically told me the same thing in a similar way, that these crystals, I don't know how to explain it, because you know some of these things don't come with words. These crystals are being utilized or will be utilized on both sides of the veil to accelerate and bring more peace, or more grace, ease and grace to this part of the journey, 2021. But yeah, so that's also another point that seems to be, in between lines. This is awesome.
Yeah, crystal was available to us. If it was a crystal that we know of right now that we are utilizing, and they said, no, it's not right now. So it's something they're using in inner earth. But however, we can use any blue crystal like that. That's a higher, crystal that's for the higher consciousness crystals, what they're saying. So any blue one, higher consciousness crystal. We are crystal beings here. We're the crystalline race that came back to elevate this stuff, to change the consciousness on this planet, and to help those that are not part of the crystalline. Because there are people that I've met that they're not showing any signs of it, and they've been awake for years. So we're helping with this transmission. The reason why, we're back there. And the blue beings are part of the process of the transformation.
Yes.
Okay.
Some good comments here too.
Deep breath.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I hear something
Well,
from somebody
every
listening.
comment that comes in, I pick it up.
Transforming something.
Yes. Okay.
Uratu.
He cut out. I couldn't hear. Go ahead.
Yatayanu murato sintutu patishi ishaata. Nihinu urita ka inu urata pishihin. Utu unta. Every time when somebody gives a comment, says something, the energy responds immediately on it. So everybody is listening, and they receive, I feel healing, and I'm transmuting energy.
Here's what I find amazing. I think it's amazing. There's so many narratives in the world, and we know, like we can look at what are the big subjects on the collective, on the global, whatever, mainstream media, whatever. There's so many narratives, and it's been such a journey of removing the lies to get to a greater truth. And some of these narratives are rabbit holes that just continue to be more and more BS, because they are not on the trajectory of self-empowerment and self-actualization. They're still on an external path. Now, what I'm getting at is, regardless of the internet, although the internet has served as a way to expand awareness of it and connect the dots, but regardless of the internet, there are people all over this world, like you, both of you, Todd Morgan, all the people on this in the audience, people that come on this show and other platforms. There are people all over the world that have been walking in two worlds. And now these worlds are coming together. And this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the show about you, about Pamela Johnson and Sandra Walter. The message being, hold your ground, fortify your field, continue to expand on the path that you've been in since you've been following your guidance, because all the crazy people are coming together. Those are my words. But I want to ask you both, that aside from the personal, let's just say the personal soul maintenance that we can do every day, what is it that we can be doing to expand this combination of frequencies and create a bigger, better, broader new earth vibration? What are the things that we could be doing as individuals?
Love. The answer is always love. And the beautiful saying of Kutumi is, what's the point? Because I'm going to be honest, all that we see in this reality is not of my kingdom.
The point of love. So what we need to do as individuals is remain in our hearts, focused in our hearts, focused in that of love, the power of love, and utilizing our strength from it, because that's where our power comes from. Love. It doesn't come from the thoughts that we have outside of ourselves. And other things, like practices, meditation, yoga, breathing exercises, doing the things in nature. Those are our favorite things.
And one of the most important things also is realizing who you are or what you are, and from that point of view, the whole manifestation of reality will change by knowing that. So knowing thyself and thy will be done is actually one of them you can realize. And then you are spirit, spirit will speak through you. And realizing that the God the Father is the I am, and the God is the one. That we are all together one big family. That's why love is actually the most important and most expression of the source itself. Yasurati atu urda ishyaturi anunu ishi asuranda ishyana kai anu arita a inin mai asurata atu upa mai.
Thank you. You keep blowing those kisses on me, I'm gonna have to get a Kleenex and wipe my cheeks off. I always gotta have a little humor. But I'm sorry, I can't. I'm still that little boy. The inner child just won't go away. So somebody mentioned, Candace Smith mentioned, and I'm just gonna utilize her question for a question that contains that, but not the specific question. She says, is there any insight on and with the internet, and it'll be shutting down at one point? Is there any information on how things will go if that happens? I think it's important to try to incorporate the audience as much as possible. I can't always do it, but there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of stuff said. There's been a lot of big announcements. There's been a lot of memes. There's been a lot of television broadcasts that were supposed to happen. There's been a lot of this, a lot of that. And I've actually heard, I think we all have, about 10 Days of Darkness or whatever for 3, 4, 5 years. So I appreciate the question so much, because I think we have to give validation to our human aspect, because it is an equal representative at this round table of spirituality. So, my comment on this, I'm going to ask William and Keleena what they have to add to this. But my comment on this is that we are telepathic, intuitive beings made in the image of that made us. And telepathy has been expanding more and more. And the one thing about not having your phone on or turning it off and taking a walk or whatever is we can start to really expand the level of our efficiency and effectiveness of our telepathy. Reach out and make contact telepathically. Think about, imagine that person that you love. Imagine what message you want to give them. So many people have come on this show and talked about dealing with things in the etheric field and watching them manifest in our physical experience. Thinking about somebody that they had a problem with, and then all of a sudden that person calls them on the phone or sends them a message and says, hey, let's make peace. So that would be my take on it. What do you guys have to say about the potential of being disconnected by the 3D means?
Yes. Well, I've been receiving that information for probably 2.5 months. There's going to be there's like a shutdown, but it's nothing for anyone to worry about. Is the information that I receive. The telepathic and the power, it's with the connections through our heart. Our heart is the communicator, our eye, and connecting telepathically our God-given, our birthright. And I've been able to hear and telepathically I was a small child. So I've been able to give William to me for a long time as well, but he's not actually conscious of it. I'll be like, I don't know. I said that.
It's the biggest initiation of my to trust always that everything will happen in the perfect divine timing. Even when something is happening and shuts down, it's happening for a reason.
Yeah.
And we have to let go of our dependency and attachment to our physical realm, because that's always from inside, from spirit. So if you are attached to physical reality, in this reality, you're actually in a trap.
I just had Bishar just popped his head in the side here.
Okay.
And he just said, "E.T. phone home." That's what he just said.
E.T. phone home.
That's what he just said, "E.T. phone home." It's telepathic communication. And it's days ago or whatever, he told William, phone off, stay off the phone for 3 days. And I understand why now, because then, and you keep popping back on it, he wants you to really be able to focus on. If it does shut down, if something does shut down, it's okay, they're saying right now. It's not that the means of communication will be, the means of communication in a distorted reality will be taken away, is what they're saying. Because it's not going to allow you to connect with false energy that's actually going on. So if it happens, it's coming in for you to be able to connect with your own truth and connect to people in an energetic vibration and heart communication. If you think you can't do it, don't do it. But if you know your heart, then you will.
So it is. So go. Thank you. So another thing I see too is like people saying, "Hey, we need to go to MeWe," and I'm not saying don't do it. Soulogy just opened a MeWe account, but I mean, we need to go to Parler, we need to go to Gab.com. We're freaking transformers. We're transformers. We're the ones that create this. Nobody outside of ourselves, I don't give a damn who they are, does it without our consent. We are consenting when we say, and I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. What I'm trying to do is make a point about ourselves as co-creator and fully empowered divine gods and goddesses in the flesh. And that is, if we want to transform Facebook, if we want to transform the censorship frequencies of YouTube or any other platform, if we want to transform anything and everything, we can do it. It's our choice whether there's going to be 10 days. It's our choice of whatever's going to happen. But it's not in somebody's hands anymore. It's what we carry forward. And sometimes what we carry forward in terms of manifestation is generated by our fears or by some belief system that we picked up. I think we're moving into territory. We're in territory now in 2021 where whatever was the truth, the highest truth today, whatever was the best process or modality today may not be tomorrow, because we are expanding love, courage, wisdom, and we're expanding truth by what Keleena said earlier, is being ourselves. I know that sounds crazy. Is it that easy? It's like Dorothy, click your heels. I mean, is it that easy just to be ourselves? I can be Todd, the crazy little inner child boy that drives Morgan nuts, or whatever. We can. I think that's that. There's a lot of truth, if not 100% truth to that.
The question will arise then: who are you?
Well, I want to touch on that point where you're talking about how it's up to us to transform the social media. It truly is, because even though they're trying to shut down even the algorithms, you're going to see with algorithms, if you're using certain words that are of higher vibration, that are of like consciousness, enlightenment, meditation, these words, they're being thrown in be something not good. So our stuff isn't being moved forward. And I talk with some other people about this, and it has been discovered that is the truth of what they're doing. However, as light workers, to share all this information and this knowledge as we're bringing this out is part of some of the persons that are on brand, social media, whatever. It's part of their work to share this stuff, expand it back. way. You've been the one that's been bringing all these different people in. You're like a mediator. You're like in between, bringing all these people in so people share the knowledge. It's part of us collective to expand the network in this way, rather than allowing and to get shut down. It will not get shut down anymore. Freedom. It's a 5-year. 5 is change. 5 is freedom. And this is the transformation year. It's really going to keep going, because I see it keep like end of 24, December 24, and then 2025. There's another big change and shift.
Right on.
Well, you also have to look at the manifestation of the consciousness and energy, for instance, like Facebook. The person who created it, that's also, Facebook is his child, and also his expression in reality. So when itself changes, or and other persons are going to be connected to Facebook, and they put their energy and conscious in it, it will be reflective. Yeah, how do you say that? Platform now, what is called Facebook.
Yeah.
So create other platforms in that way be a good idea with a different intention of that platform, because that will be the manifestation as consciousness in the field of consciousness. So all know what the consciousness is from the person who created Facebook, and also in what kind of hands now it is, and that's how it's being directed, how Facebook works. So in that way, if you want to figure things out, you have to look at who the creators are of that reality, of that consciousnness. The same way every land or every home, every being. So yeah, that's how we can change that, to come up with new ideas and practices.
I'm getting some information right now that there are these star seeds that are here right now that are very connected to technology, thank you, that are here to help change the platforming of the way things are shown. They're here to also change and create the new sort of saying that's not going to allow anything of a lower vibration or lower energy to get in, because these star seeds are higher energy. They're of that collective consciousness that is vibing in the high vibe tribe, that has the technology, that has the DNA encoding of how to do this. They're already working on it, is what they're saying. They're actually showing me visualization. These are like the late 20s, early 30s persons. They're actually in some of the teens right now. They're bringing some of the teens in. So it's being done as we speak. And there's going to be these new platforms. Some of them that are out there, they don't reach the audience right now, only because they're under the same regulations that that's already out here is. Yeah, Nicola said, he said, thank you for letting us speak.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, I mean, how many people around this world have been doing grid work or other let's say repairs or reformations, rehabilitations, whatever, reconnections in the etheric field, in the grid, in the earth, and we can approach anything and everything with a clean slate, and yeah, it may end up being that we transform existing social media platforms, or maybe that we create new ones. But at the end of the day, it's no matter what's going on outside of us, no matter what we do, the most important thing continues to be, to thine own self be true. To be brutally honest with ourselves, no matter what level of achievement or expansion or elevation we might think we have achieved. Stay humble, because that seems to be a really good barometer of progress, is the level of humility, as the universe reminds us every day.
And what you said earlier about what's today's truth may not be tomorrow's truth is absolutely in the
And
Absolutely.
one truth is always true.
Christy Stobbs, I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit. Were you? Okay. Christy Stobbs, thank you for the comment. She says, I get the message that as we ascend, we will be able to be conscious of more than one reality at once. Has anyone else received this message? You guys want to answer that?
The more you ascend, you're being aware or conscious of more realities or more realities at the same time.
Yes. Yeah.
True. But make sure that you will always be in the one reality in your own heart and in simplicity. Because what you give attention to, you will also switch to that reality if you are living at the same time in more reality. And you only can experience that at the same time from in an earthly way, or like that's being grounded really in reality, is that when you are in the one within your own heart, because the one point of all is everywhere at the same time. In this way, God experiences everything at the same time and is everywhere at the same time. So it's also yes and no, because within creation, you also have like fake timelines, which you also can experience. And it's very important to be on your own true timeline, in your own manifestation. And then you will realize that there's only one reality.
True that. True that.
We're embodying our.
Well,
we're embodying all that we are, the highest and purest benevolent aspects of ourself, and the things that I say every day when I up and I'm in the sun and I'm meditating is I now allow for all that I am. I now allow myself to receive all of the codes for all that I am and all that I ever have, highest and purest benevolent source love light, for my full embodiment of my Christed goddess self. And so it is. And so we're bringing all of those aspects of us within us to do this work and become the best version of who we are now in this moment and for what we came back with.
Very important is to realize also to know the true being really is God itself. And that's also the highest vibration that you can be. We talked about also with Keleena, but in Keleena there is still like, how do you say that, different vibrations of reality. Because if you now in an instant could realize completely who you truly are, you can even combust. There are stories that could also share that somebody through the Kundalini energy suddenly just hears.
Sure.
Oh,
yeah?
Okay. So I need to explain that if you're done.
Yeah. Realize that there is God as first source, as the first being that is created, and then you have the children of God. Then you have different realities and vibrations. So you can descend and you can ascend in realities, and you at the same time you exist at the same time everywhere, if you may say so, because that's who you truly are. But that's why humility, humbleness is very important, actually, towards your own higher self in creation, because that's a high vibration of intelligence, of love, power, and wisdom. There would be no creation. If you are the one with no reference point, you only are being in that existence that you are.
I will explain the thing had said. A couple years ago, I had brought through information from a source about instantaneous human combustion. My friend Paul DeBrey had asked me, and when he did, I was able to bring these through. So what I channeled was that those that have been polluting their physical bodies, mind, the body, the mind, emotional field, everything, and just polluting it and not working on themselves, not clearing themselves for their purification. When the Kundalini awakens, because it is set for when it's supposed to for you, if you're not purified to a certain point, the instantaneous healing happens, because the body can't handle the 3D body with all of the chemicals that are in it, all of the toxins and everything. It can't the firing of the Kundalini, and that's the instantaneous human combustion. It happens so fast. They showed me the vision on how it ends. So that actually answered the question for a lot of the science.
Also,
they wanted to know how that happens. So, yeah, the energy in the nervous system can't handle it.
Yeah, you have to train it also by yoga or meditation, you know, to strengthen yourself so that you can embody the vibration and the vibration of the divine reality. And this morning we also received a message. Now it's happening with the vaccines. Okay, it's no.
Don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
What vaccines?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You, if you are in your divine presence, you can transform everything that is of low vibration. It's very important that you are in a high vibration. My body is active, and that's also what I have seen in my vision when I was 3 years old. Everybody in this now in this big change who has activated their light body will go to of the new reality and world. And for those who are not going to make that now in this moment, there's no worries in that way, because they're going to the other realm, and reality will incarnate again when that time is ready in the new bodies on this earth. So everybody in that way will experience the transformation as well. Always.
Yeah, absolutely it is. It's always all right.
Yeah.
There has been more and more people physically transitioning off the earth. And I'm not talking about headlines and COVID virus. I'm not talking about that. No disrespect to anything like that. But I'm talking about, even in this community, people that you know that they know, friends of friends. There's more and more and more physical transition occurring. And this has been, for lack of a better word, prophesized for the last few years by many, many people like yourselves who channel and download and transmit. This seems to be a big, well, obviously, and it makes sense, a big factor, a challenge, certainly an impact on our human aspect. What kind of advice can you give folks who have already dealt with family members physically transitioning, and those that will? Do you think this is going to continue to be a bigger factor in our experience? And if so, what do you think it's happening for?
Yeah, I definitely am seeing that they're going to continue to leave, handle some of the energies, but it's also part of the process that was chosen of leaving. Yeah, in that moment, it's all planned. It's a blueprint. So don't. I want to say to everyone is, look at it as a negative thing when somebody leaves, because we're eternal beings. You're just leaving the physical vessel, the shell that we're in, and you're going into the thing. I mean, we can, these little spirit came into those little baby bodies when we were being born, to have the experience. So we're here to live it, expand it, grow in it, and however we were supposed to leave or are supposed to leave, we will, and we do. And to think of it negatively is going to hold yourself in that vibration, rather than seeing it as this is what is supposed to happen of life, unless you're choosing to leave in the light box, which a lot of us are focusing on. So yes, it's affected a lot of people in they've lowered their vibrations from and they're holding on to that energy, we have to elevate ourselves and see that we've gone back to the source, or we're going back to that where we came from, so that we can have the next experience. And to me, it's if you're going into something that's bigger, better than being in what you able to and handle it at your highest trajectory, it's okay. It's okay.
There's no judgment.
There's never judgment. The only person that judges, and let that go and see that the person that is leaving, family members, whatever, are going to the next, they're going back, and they're going back in this beautiful light with open arms. And one thing, they miss us like we miss them, because they are right here, literally.
Right.
Because if you're playing, so there's a lot of people that their energy is like right here with you, and they're always with us because they're part of us.
Also the other way around. And your true self does not judge. So the main thing you can do always is connect with your true self. And the true being that you are is a being of love. And we are going through these difficult experiences in that way to realize grace. What is really grace and compassion? What does it mean to really love? What is true love? You will realize that really, and you probably admit that, in a twin-way relationship. Through reflections that you're going to get in your own partner, what's being reflected to the subconscious in your reality. And you're going to realize how strong we create in our reality, how strong the divine is within us. And you're going to fall on your knees and on the ground for gratefulness and for grace that indeed there is God, a spirit, who's always, and it's always there for us to catch us, you know, in our reality, that's always serving us. So even when I had my big car accident, because I had a big car accident to a truck, a frontal crash, and for 3 days my consciousness was gone, like a coma. But I woke up in the hospital and I looked at my mother, I said, and I was just happy and joyous that I survived such a big thing, you know. For my parents, they had like a very negative experience to that, because they were fighting their own thoughts about that reality. And so you can say that everybody thoughts creation in the moment of how they experience the reality. So it's not the circumstance, but how the internal being is. So, and one of the most highest grace that I've became conscious of is that consciousness is going through something that is too much to handle, it will shut off. So you will not experience that. It will not be in your memory base. So you always can handle then the situation or the experience that you're going through. Always. So in that way you are always safe. And so when the experience has been there, you can maybe talk with somebody about it and maybe laugh about it or drink a beer or whatever.
Okay.
A lot of it are also helping us from the other side as well.
I don't drink beer, by the way. I don't like it at all.
I'll drink it for you. Here's another thing. As time goes on, of course, people have talked about the Great Divide for quite some time. We all have our own, definitions of it or perceptions of it. The Great Divide. There certainly seems to be divides, and I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. And it's got both points. Whatever. One of the things that seems to be happening is like begetting like. So those who are like each other are congealing together, but also because of the climate of what's being discussed and what's in the field, all this multitude of distraction and distortion and so on, as well as the ascension path, in groups, even individuals, I can see, because of the way we built this thing and built ourselves, that our our moments of divination, communion, connection, and so on, especially when we start to gather, we could be challenged in the sense of feeling superior, and that's totally understandable. Feeling like you know something that nobody else does, feeling like you're in a group that's more select or different. How can we keep ourselves in check? How can we retain and expand our humility and still honor the human, even the ego? How can we stay grounded and balanced in this perpetual motion that we're in as we expand in this awakening?
When you surrender to yourself, who you are, and that's the I am presence, at the same time, you're surrendering to your first chakra, that is your grounding presence. The mantra of your first chakra of being grounded is I am, and after there are no, there's nothing. Being present. When you don't judge, even when you don't have the thoughts about something, then you're in alignment. And then through the alignment, the God source of who you are in that reflection. So to bring yourself back in alignment is the most important thing you always can do. The humbleness that you will experience, you have gone through the big transformation of your ego to your divine self. And also that, again, trust in that program will work out perfectly fine, even when you blow up your ego, because I've been there, and sometimes I still do it because I can. But at the same time, I can also be very humble, because the more you expand within your light body, the more energy and vibration you are carrying. So the more light that you are embodying in your body, also your ego will get bigger and bigger and bigger. So at the same time, you have to be strong to carry that energy and consciousness within yourself. And that's something that you only can learn through your experiences. Because then you're really embodying that what you have read, or at the end you're not going to read anything, because everything's within you and happens through you and for you in that way.
And it's being shown that, just like you said, the piece that I wrote that came up with the light workers to come together, we shows everyone to stop and thinking that you're better than us. And then you said Sandra wrote it and Pamela wrote it. We all writing the same things. We're all receiving the same information. It's being shown that it's out there for us to tap into it. It's right there. If you think you're any better than someone else and all these people are getting it, then you're still living from the ego. You're divine, your divinity with who you are. You're not in that heart space reality.
And if you go to the core truth of all that is God itself, when there's the first manifestation, there's immediately the Trinity. So that's not one, it's immediately three in manifestation. The one spirit that's in all of us is the one, but when there's an expression of the Creator, that way, there are three. So you're never alone. And that means that you cannot be in the one ego in existence. That's not possible. Now, something happened in creation, in a lower dimension reality. Such a being came into existence. That being was the one. It only could see itself. That once, because it had the same possibilities as God itself. And that being started to create. And everything happened also in balance. But because that being didn't create in unity with the other two of the Trinity, there was all still like, how do you say that? There was less acknowledgement of who the being truly is. And you can only acknowledge yourself as the I am, the we are. Only then yourself. So we are going through this, like Jesus was here to testify the truth. On this earth, we are going through the shadows, your consciousness, and going back into the light of the self-realization and acknowledgement who you truly are. And only then you realize through the being alone and feel abandoned, and then realizing that you're never alone, and then you feel the grace that has help, support of the Holy Spirit, and that Divine Father's will and the Holy Feminine energy in that oneness, that being, that consciousness has realized now in this beingness, and we are all going through that, and then we will become strong of love and light and grace.
I just wrote my higher self just wrote Trinity about us being part of the Trinity, and my heading on the picture was one love, one life. So if we're thinking we think we're any different than the one love and the one life, we're any better than somebody else. Well, that's the ego playing the game. That's not us being in our divine.
And one experience that I had in that way was when I was losing a lot in my life, and I worked already very hard in that time. This self-realization that I had in that time, and it was also with reflection in a goddess in my life, that everything that I've experienced, positive or negative, was towards myself. Yeah. So every negative thing that I've even have thought in my own mind towards somebody else was in essence myself. And that realization of oneness of all, the sanctity and vulnerability, brought me to my knees, and I bowed down to everybody actually in existence, and I'm saying, I'm sorry, forgive me, and I forgive myself. And in the realization of who we are as the void or the emptiness, in that way you don't have to forgive, you only have to be. Then again, if there's no creation, like, there's immediately tree, you always have to bow down to somebody else. In the embracement of grace that the mother has for the father, you're not alone. Come here, I give you a hug, I love you. And that's actually the most profound and first expression of creation. We are together, we are one. One being, one presence, one love. Yeah. And that's the most beautiful side. Yeah, especially when you're in a relationship.
Keleena is the light and you're the dark. You're in the dark and she's in the light. The light's hitting on her. It's funny. So I believe we're coming to a close here. Hour and 25 minutes. We got another show in 35 minutes, and it's, who is it? Marina Jacoby. Marina Jacoby's going to be on. So I thought what we could do is, obviously you guys normally give us an activation / prayer, blessing on the way out the door. I want to just, I really feel like what Keleena was talking about earlier in the show about putting your expressions out there. I really feel this very strongly and have for a long, long time, but I'm really feeling it stronger, not for myself, but for everybody. And that is to step out there, step out of your comfort zone, put it out there. We only get one chance to do it right the first time, or do it the first time. And so in the spirit of that, in the spirit of spontaneity, and in the spirit of non-verbalization and the power of the Trinity, because this is the age of the Trinity. So we have here a triad between myself and William and Keleena, and it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time. I am not somebody who normally does stuff like this, but I'm going to in this case because this is what I moved to do, and I think we all need to get out of our comfort zone. So if we could do a triad, you guys, I'll make it a triad. All I'm going to do is start it, and you guys just do whatever. But if we could have, an alignment of the triad Trinity energy and share it, so that we can further expand this awareness and this consciousness that we're all a part of by methods that haven't been acceptable until these last couple of years. So here we go. All right. Nahe kanahe nae ha. Manaya nae ai. Alai henae nae e manahe nae ai. Namlehe ne menehe manae ai. Hey nay ay 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 nay nay ay nay my hey nay nay ke hey nay 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 my le ay nay 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 ay lay nay oh nay nay ay nay nay ay ay nay. I'll be seeing I'll be seeing you guys. It's likely sooner than later, but more on that later. I love you both. Thank you for your service to humanity, and thank you for having the etheric kahunas to get out there and do what you do every day and not look back. Uh, all blessings to both of you, and until the next time.
Absolutely.